Welcome to Debbie's Group, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. Convicted former Ashanti Regional Chair of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Entry Boisiakon, known as Chairman Wontumi, will file his nomination to contest the party's national chair position on Thursday, August 27, despite currently serving a 20-year prison sentence. His campaign team is set to submit the completed nomination forms at the NPP's national headquarters at Asylum Down in Accra on the said date. An Accra High Court presided over by Justice Audrey Kokuvite convicted Boisiako on charges connected to illegal mining activities at the Samrebwa concession in the Western region. The court found him guilty of assigning mineral rights without the required ministerial approval and facilitating unlicensed mining operations. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison with an additional fine of 120,000 Ghana cedis. His legal team has since filed an application seeking bail pending the hearing and determination of his appeal against the conviction and sentence. Erajua Coleman, communications director for Wontumi's campaign team, confirmed the planned filing and defended the decision to press ahead with the candidacy. The move has raised significant constitutional questions. A legal opinion cited provisions of the 1992 Constitution, including Article 55 Clause 8 and Article 94 Clause 2C, which bar persons convicted of high crimes or sentenced to more than 10 years from contesting parliamentary seats, since eligibility for party executive positions is linked to parliamentary eligibility. This could render Wontumi ineligible. However, the NPP's National Election Committee Chair, Frederick Opari Ansah, has stated that the party's secretariat has no mandate to prevent anyone from obtaining nomination forms. Wontumi is now running unopposed. 5 aspirants have picked forms for the national chairmanship position, including former national chair Paul Afoko, former general secretary John Boedu, former energy minister Boachi Ajako, and Sami Krabe. Afoko is expected to file his completed forms on Tuesday, August 25th, running on 3 agenda to reunite, rebuild, and recapture. The filing of completed nomination forms will close on Saturday, August 29, following a 2-day extension by the party's National Officers Elections Committee. Vetting of aspirants is scheduled for August 31 to September 3, during which the vetting committee will determine the eligibility of all candidates. The final decision on whether Wontumi can contest will be made at that stage. The national delegate election is scheduled for October 3, 2026. So the campaign team of Chairman Wontumi brought out this yesterday, and they said they'll be filing for nomination for Chairman Wontumi coming 27 of this month. Yes, and that is they want Chairman Wontumi to contest for the national chairmanship position. Now, if you look at, when we take a look at the legal aspects, according to the 1992 Constitution, Article 55 Clause 8 and Article 94 Clause 2C bars persons convicted of high crimes or sentenced to more than 10 years from contesting parliamentary seat. So when you look at a constitution, the 1992 Constitution, Article 55 Clause 8 states that a person who has been sentenced for 10 years or more than 10 years has no right, to stand in or to file for nomination, having the interest to contest for a position. Okay, so this is for the 1992 Constitution. Now let's look at what that of the NPP also states. When you look at the constitution govern that of the party, because don't forget that this is 1992 Constitution. This covers, this is general. If a person has been sentenced 12 or 10 years and above, you have no right to contest or file for nomination. But when you're taking a look at parties within the country, the constitution does not, cover that. When it has to do with the party also has their own constitution. So let's see whether the constitution of the NPP also allows that. So the NPP constitution says anyone who has been convicted and sentenced to more than 12 months is disqualified unless appeal is successful or 10 years has passed. So Chairman Wontumi's eligibility will depend on whether the party's vetting committee interprets his bill pending appeal as still eligible. So when you look at the constitution governing the New Patriotic Party, it states that a person who has been sentenced for more than 12 months, and more than 12 months has to do with 1 year. 12 months sum up to make a year. So if a person has been sentenced more than 12 months, it means the person is not eligible to contest. When we take Chairman Wontumi, for instance, Chairman Wontumi has been sentenced for 20 years. That is more than a year. But it's also stated that his eligibility would depend on whether the party's vetting committee interpret his bill pending appeal, because as it stands now, they are also appealing for him to be billed. Now let's look at the overall picture. If Chairman Wontumi is being allowed, what would the party look like? The NPP will look like a party that chose, let's say, power over clean image. So it may hold Ashanti strongly, but will have a hard time convincing middle class and anti-Galamsey's voters. Now, if allowed, but he loses, then it means the NPP party can still say that they are democratic. They allowed everybody to contest and still came out clean. If Chairman Wontumi is being disqualified, the Wontumi's cap will also claim witch hunting and may create another function, just like Polafoko. Now, for me, if you ask me, we have two constitutions here. The 1992 constitution is stating that the person who has been jailed for more than 10 years and above has no right to contest. That is in general. Whether you want to stand for a member of parliament, you have presidential ambition, so long as you've been jailed, you have no right. In fact, you are not eligible to contest. But don't forget that the parties we have here also have their constitution. When you look at the NPP constitution, or the constitution that governs the NPP, it states that when a person has been jailed for more than 12 months, and more than 12 months has to do with more than a year, you are not eligible to contest. Unless maybe the committee will have to decide. And with Wontumi's case, it means he's not eligible. But the committee will have to decide, because as it stands now, they are appealing for him to be, bailed. And so there are two instances here, the 1992 constitution and the constitution governing the NPP party. Are they going to forfeit the constitution governing the party and what the party constitution is saying, and still go ahead to allow Chairman Wontumi contest? Now don't forget that they are filing for his nomination, but it is not only Chairman Wontumi that wants to become the national chair of the party. We have the likes of Polafoko. We have the likes of Krabe. We have the like of Buedu. We have the likes of other people who also have the interest to contest. Now when we take Polafoko, for instance, Polafoko has also been in the party for some time. Way back in the 1970s, when he was an activist, and when he rose against when Jerry John Rawlings wanted to overthrow Dr. Hilary Mann, and then he said no. He was being sentenced, and then he found his way out of the country. After many years, he came back around 2000, and then he came back to his party. Then he was appointed as the national chair of the NPP for Tamale. He occupied that position for a while, and then there were allegations that he was undermining the then flag bearer of the party that has to do with Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And so they indefinitely suspended him. Now he's back. He said, what it takes to become the national chair of the party. Now when you look at all these people that are contesting, they are all speaking to one thing, and that has to do with reunite the party. They are all focusing on reuniting the party to become the NPP they used to know. The main focus here is on Chairman Wontumi. I feel like, why not just allow this man serve his term, and that is it? Why will you go ahead to file a nomination for someone who is serving his prison sentence? And while some people might say that, they believe that Chairman Wontumi will be granted a bail. Whether he will be granted bail or not, as the day goes by, we will get to know. And whether the NPP party are going to allow him contest while he's still in prison, that will be finalized. The committee will finalize that before the vetting. So I'm just imagining someone who is serving his jail sentence, and then they still want him to contest. Now, don't let this confuse you, because Chairman Wontumi is the powerhouse of the NPP. The more reason why some of his campaign team members or people are still standing for him to file nomination is because Chairman Wontumi has been, as I said, the powerhouse of the party. He has really pumped much money into the party. Somewhere around 2015, Chairman Wontumi actually filed for nominations for other people and even financed them. And so they felt like, if Chairman Wontumi should be in cell, whilst this position will be given to someone else, then it feels like their powerhouse has been sidelined. But this is the issue. The person has been jailed. Why not just focus on the rest of the people who are here on ground, who you can see and who you believe that can handle this position, and then you give it to them? Because trust me, if Chairman Wontumi should be given the nod to be vetted and at long last be voted for as the chair of the NPP party, is going to raise a lot of questions. How are you going to win the trust of the people? Because mind you, if the NPP party are backed, and if Chairman Wontumi is still back, at the end of the day, they are selecting their people, but they will still have to go ahead. That is when it comes to the general election. How sure are you that this is going to paint a good picture about the new patriotic party going forward? But well, as time goes on, the committee will have to decide. And whatever they will decide, it will definitely come with its positive side and its negative side. And we are eager to know what will become of this. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.